Yeah, myself Akhlaque, and today I am going to demonstrate in the field of technology, cybersecurity, what is the need of the VAPT. So VAPT is going to be demanding too much because there are too many attacks is going to be happening daily on a daily basis. So the different company and organization want to be in the safe side. So this profile is going to be having on demand. So we should be preparing accordingly. Ki in the sense of the what in-depth knowledge is going to be have to cope up the situation. So here I like to first of all discuss for all of you people कि VAPT is a single word, but it is the combination of two words in fact. So VA and PT. So vulnerability, VA is for the vulnerability assessment and PT for that of the penetration testing. So it is the combined approach, and overall the thing is what कि how to test the application. So the VAPT concept is means what vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. So if I am going to talk about the vulnerability assessment means how to check the vulnerability in the that might be associated with the cloud, that might be associated with the mobile, that might be associated with the network, and that may be related with the web application. So there is the web application VAPT, network VAPT, and IoT VAPT, cloud VAPT, mobile VAPT. So today I am going to discuss about the web application VAPT. So web application VAPT, first of all we must know that penetration vulnerability assessment is going to be manually and not manually, automated type of scanning. So tools are there and it is going to be scanned through the tools. So vulnerability assessment is going to be performed with the help of tools, but penetration testing is the combined effect of the manual and vulnerable means tool. So through the manual and tool both are going to be utilized. So what is the penetration testing? We must know that if I am going to talk about just performing the attack means simulating the attack just like the attacker, so that what the vulnerability is present in the software and how the attacker can perform that attack, that simulation, that performance is said to be the penetration testing. So pen tester is responsible to check it out if there is the vulnerability, and penetration testing so should be patched and going to be reported accordingly to the organization to just have the security posture. So to maintain the security posture, it is the very important. So first of all we must know that if I am going to talk about the web application, because mobile application and cloud lot of things are there, but in this time I am focusing on the web application. So web application is the simple online application. If the web application I am talking, so it is the online application and it implements the concept of client server technology. So client web application is going to be deployed in the server, and client is responsible to make request. So if browser, I am going to talk about the laptop, mobile. So these are the browser through we interact with our application. So the main important protocol is the HTTP protocol. So that is said to be the carrier of our request and response. So when I make request, it is going to be reaching through to the server through the request, and response is responsible to generate and display the output in my browser. So the technology is going to be having three-tiered architecture I like to display. Client side, one is the client side, and the next one will be the server side, and the other one is the database side. So database server. So first of all we have to understood what is the client side, through which suppose we are going to be using from the mobile app. So what the user is going to be requesting, that is through the client side. Suppose I am having the app Flipkart and I am having the login page, so that is my client. But if I am going to request for the sign up and submitting, then it is requesting to the server side technology and the web server. So server side technology, first of all I like to go with client side. HTML, CSS, JavaScript is going to be used. HTML, CSS, JavaScript is used, and vulnerability may be present in all three different tiers. So we should be at the time of vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, so take care where the vulnerability is existing. So that is the tactics and techniques and procedure we should apply, so that we will be able to find the vulnerability, and we'll go through the penetration testing that really the vulnerability is existing. So first of all, if I am going to talk about HTML, the browser understanding language, it is called the markup language. It is not the programming language. So web page, if I am talking about, then it is going to be developing and designing a static web page. So a static web page means what? Not a dynamic behavior is possible, no any processing type of thing is possible. But in the web application we see that there is the validation type of thing is there. So in order to have that dynamic behavior to the page, JavaScript we used in HTML. So if JavaScript we are going to use, so we must know first of all what is the use of the JavaScript, and with the help of tag, it is going to be used within the HTML. So if there is the vulnerability at the time of coding in the JavaScript, cross-site scripting attack is possible. So cross-site scripting is of different types. There are reflect type, store type, and the DOM type. So that different vulnerability is dangerous and just going to create one attack surface. Other vulnerability may be present in the data tier, that is said to be the SQL injection. And when attack is possible is SQL injection, no, when there is the SQL code vulnerability. When SQL code vulnerability is there, then the thing is attack is possible, means attacker could pass the malicious query, and the system could be compromised, and that data can be extracted and data can be deleted over there. So first of all we must understand what is the need of the server side and what accordingly going to be used over there. So just a minute, in client side HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So HTML for the page creation, dynamic behavior is going to be supported by the JavaScript, and CSS is for the layout of the page. But nowadays again Angular and React is going to be used for the security concern, but still vulnerability is there. So different techniques we apply over there, but server side technology we use like Java, Python, and .NET, there might be the PHP. So when main objective is to use the server side technology to connect with the database. If we are not having the server side technology, we cannot go for the database application. So most of the web application is the database application, and database is the important asset of the organization which should be secured. So accordingly, when I am using the Java technology, then Tomcat is the server. When .NET technology, so the IIS is the server. If I am going to talk about the PHP, Apache and Nginx will be the server. And if there is the Python nowadays, which is mostly used for that of the IoT type of application, so there is the case of the Django server. So this vulnerability may be present in anywhere. So the main thing is the client side validation, server side validation, and the query. If the vulnerability may be present in the query, means SQL query, so the attack is possible. So here we will go for that of the different nessus we provide for the hand-on experience at the time of training, so that the nessus is going to be supporting and finding the vulnerability. And also the beauty of the nessus is that it guide and it makes suggestion ki how to check it out, how to overcome that particular vulnerability. Not only that much, a number of tools going to be nowadays. There is the OWASP ZAP. So there is the penetration testing tool we use like Bubsuit, so man in the middle attack, like brute force attack is possible. So the different types of attack is going to be performed through the attacker if vulnerability is there, and of which common is there session hijacking, if there is the session is going to be persisting for the long time, and sessions should not be going to be persisting. And that's why in the development in the banking application you might have seen we are going to be session timeout, we are getting session timeout again and again. Why not? For the session not going to be allowing to be persisting, so that attack is going to be avoided over there. So means brute force. So brute force happens what? If the number of hit will be to the server, suppose you attacker get means what? Guess number of usernames and password. But if at the time of program I am not allowing more than 3 times, then the vulnerability is going to be checked. So that all at the time of the development and at the time of testing it is going to be. Again there is the case of what? Password changing. Password changing means what? Suppose the system is asking only new name and new password and confirm password. So it is again the vulnerability, because at the time of development current password should ask, because if the current password is asking, so the but obvious attacker will not have the current password and will not able to change the password. So the different types of vulnerability going to be existing. So the nowadays there is the concept of the DevSecOps. DevSecOps means what? Development, security and operation. Operation is related with deployment, and development is related with the development of the product. So security is going to be taking care of how not at the time of development security is going to be given too much priority, so that on time development will be possible, and no any means validation error will be there. All the validation testing type of security testing type thing should be implemented at the time of development parallelly only. So that is the need of the DevSecOps. So the concern is here, at the time of penetration testing different tools we use, and finding the vulnerability and making it penetrating, and just checking it out that now the penetration has been removed or what. If not, then going to be patched accordingly, and the thing is going to be implemented, so that security posture of the organization. Network infrastructure, if I am going to talk about the network VAPT, so there might be the vulnerability associated with the different external and internal sense. So external means what? If firewall, domain name, and the thing is related with the router. So if internal, so the different internal system might be associated with the vulnerability. So network VAPT take care of the port scanning. So the different tools, Nmap and the SolarWind and Angry IP scanner, the different things we use time to time to take care of that, how much the different system is going to be having, maintaining the security posture or not. So need of the thing is we should provide the trainee engineers in-depth knowledge, so that they will be able to crack the interview and to have the offer letter. Thank you.